welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me this morning is Zana Alkamzova. She is an opera singer and president for the Amelia Concert Series. Zana, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're into, etc.
Yes. As you had mentioned, I am an opera singer. I have pursued. Let's back up a little bit. I graduated from. I graduated from BU in voice. Got my master's, and then I moved to New York City, where for many years I spent pursuing my operatic career. So I traveled to different countries, and I've had some wonderful opportunities. And even last summer, I made my long-awaited debut at Carnegie Hall main stage. So I've had some wonderful opportunities. 4 years ago, I had my daughter Amelia, and moved to Connecticut. And a couple of years ago, started thinking of what else I would do musically to expand my singing. And so this Amelia Classical Concert Music Series came about as a sort of natural expansion of my vocal pursuits. This is our first year, our inaugural year, so to speak. We started this spring with a couple of concerts in Connecticut. And this September, we are presenting in very interesting, in my opinion, concert in Boston.
Okay.
This will be a concert where I will perform, but we've invited an incredible cellist. He's a winner of the Tchaikovsky competition and many, many other competitions, but he is just... I've heard him play a couple of times, and he is truly magnificent. And so what we're doing with this concert is that we're not only presenting some pieces, masterpieces that most classical music lovers enjoy and love and know, but we're also taking a couple of pieces and we are presenting completely new arrangements for voice, cello, and piano, something that's never been heard before. So I believe this will be something, a not to miss event in Boston.
Beautiful. There's one thing I observe amongst opera singers is that majority of you are linguistics. You speak several different languages. I don't know if it came through the format of learning music, and some are written in different languages and so forth, but you are pretty good at it. Tell me something about in the world of the opera artist. We live in a new century, and I recognize that there are those who are pursuing this as a career, and some do well, some don't. And what things do you think can be done within that area of the arts that can really make a prosperous and successful career for many? We know people like Andre Bocelli and Andre Roy, I think that's his name. He do extremely well, worldwide speaking, have a big following. But for the small opera artists who want to get up and have their own company and progress well, what are some of the experiences you think they are lacking and need to succeed in this business?
That's
a
not an easy...
Okay, well, don't let me punish you. Don't let me punish your brain.
Let me...
There are several other questions I can ask you.
No, I mean, it's a great question. The reality of it is, in order for us to keep this art form alive, we have to evolve and stay relevant. But at the core of it, we need education in our schools, so kids are exposed to classical music. So a lot of opera companies do lots of outreaches, which I believe is essential and important. It doesn't have to be that classical music is the only music, but for instance, in raising my daughter, I just expose her to this genre on top of other genres So she's aware that this art form exists. And then when she's an adult, she can make her choices. But classical music is beautiful music, and it is around us. We just forget that, a lot of times we hear opera, I don't know, at a mall or something, but we're just not aware of it. So that's, I believe that is something that, so education. Secondly, we do have to evolve and come up with new ideas, which is what opera companies are doing as well. New stagings, some contemporary new ideas. But what we're doing with our concert, for example, we're taking lots of different, for example, we'll be doing operatic arias from Verdi or Cini. I'm going to be doing some art songs, Rachmaninoff and such. But then we're taking a couple of pieces that are known, and we are presenting something new to our audience as well. We're presenting arrangements, something that they never heard before. So kind of to
Absolutely.
pique interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to get back to your upcoming event pretty soon. But I interviewed several opera singers from all around the world. I can remember interviewing a lady she was in Germany, this was probably 4 months ago. And she's an American, but she now plays a major role in the operas with a company in Germany. And what she was discussing with me is that Germany pays more attention. There's more money to play with in terms of promoting this kind of art form. This was something that United States was grounded in. This is something that was a part of United States culture for a long, long time, to the point where Procter & Gamble at one point used opera singers to promote their soaps. That's how we get the form of soap operas. And for some reason, it seems like I just fell off of taking that front stage and being what it used to be before. And yet still, we know that this talent still lingers and exists within the parameters of the United States. And I'm thinking, how are we going to really get it back? Is our culture that needs to be preserved. You don't want to deem that it's some ancient art form that used to exist years ago, but still relevant for this time of season. And we have all forms of music, from pop to secular, you name it, that just come up over the years and had drawn the operas out. And what amazes me is that most of the times you got like an American Idol or American Got Talent, and some little person come up there, they don't seems to be anything until they start singing a piece of opera and the whole atmosphere lights up. The beauty and the splendor that exists and embodied in this art form, as you said earlier, should be a form of education in schools. But paramount above it all, I think we need good people with marketing skills to preserve this legacy. What advice do you have for a generation now of young opera singers that are coming up? I'm not saying that you're old, by the way, but we got, like your daughter, for example, she idolizes you, and she's going to idolize people within your frame of career and so forth. How would we explain to the younger generation to promote this and they can make a good career out of it and take care of themselves?
I think early exposure is what's most important. Early exposure. Certainly, pop music, for example, is easier for consumption. At the first glance, it would appear so, but there's a reason why classics have stayed around for generations. And as long as there's exposure, and as you had mentioned, marketing behind this machine, which, we as opera singers best we can offer is our talent.
Absolutely.
I'm certainly not, you know, a marketer. I don't know how all of that works, but I understand that when I just see it myself, when I perform somewhere and there's a person in the audience who's never heard opera before and they're just, wow, a human voice. And I'm not, boasting my own voice, just in general, a human voice is able to just create magic. And I think people are interested, but they just need to learn that, yes, it's a different art form. You need to perhaps, read the libretto before you go to the opera and kind of have an idea of what it is. And there's an interesting storyline there. There's beautiful music. It's a different art form than what a lot of people are used to. But as long as there's a little bit of preparation and anticipation of something magical that's about to happen, hopefully, on stage.
You know what is really, really funny though? I'll share something with you. I don't know if opera has something to do with this. While you are speaking, I can't figure out whether it's Olga Lasovsky that's speaking or you that's speaking. And other operas singers I've interviewed, their voices almost sound alike, even when they are naturally speaking. I don't know if you observed that. Seriously, I'm serious.
Well, yes, we do have that. We do have that because we train our voices. So we train our voices for years and years and years. We know how to use our voices. In my regular life, I'm pretty soft spoken, but when I am, obviously,
because I'm hearing the creativity and expressions and similarities of similar opera singers. And I have interviewed several of those opera singers and sopranos and so forth. And that is something that I would say they all have in common. I think is unique. Like I first opened up and they said that I recognize that a lot of you are so bilingual, if not trilingual, if there's such a word, or quadrilingual, I don't know. But you're like a group of linguistics. I remember back in 2008, I think it was, I met a young lady and she was brilliant. She spoke 5 languages. She was from the Dominican Republic. She had her master's in music from Berkeley. And her accumulation of speaking different languages came through learning music. I found that goes for several opera singers. So I think there's even a further career there to be an interpreter for organizations if they need someone to fit in for a moment or so.
Right. If you ever need, certainly we have. Obviously, we can pick up.
Yeah.
We have a really great ear. So I can always hear what's going on with my daughter in the next.
Absolutely. So, what word of encouragement that you would speak to a young generation in this time of season? And this is something that will live on for as long as mankind live on. I believe that the operas were somewhat the foundation in which many music took its roots from. And how would you encourage young people to be creative and expressive in the opera arts, but more importantly is to have that sense of business? Because business will have to coincide with both this talent, this beautiful talent, that you can preserve it, make a living from it, and sell it to the world at the same time. I think it needs to be reinvigorated for some reason. I'm not saying it's not popular, but when you go to, how would you really reach out to a younger person who just loves it?
I think, first of all, I do have to say that younger generations right now are doing incredible things, interesting things, really great new productions. coming up with inventive ideas. They put together operas with dramatic speaking interludes, and so they're really understanding that we can keep, for those of us who enjoy going to the opera, say, and just enjoying a regular production that's been around for generations, that's there. But then there are also those productions that are completely new and innovative. So I have to say that I think people within our industry have realized that maybe earlier on in Germany, for example, but a lot of really interesting things are happening in the United States. But for really younger generations who are still in school, it's learning those skills. It's essential. You learn how to manage your finances. This is essential. A lot of people who are out there creating, having their own businesses, they know from the get-go, this is what you need to do financially in order to stay afloat. Singers, a lot of times, and I just speak about singers just because that's been my experience. This is what I know. Go out into the world and have no idea what to do, financially, how to stay afloat. Because a lot of times this career, is like this. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you'll be making money, other times you won't be making any money at all, and you need to have some cushion there available for you. That's number one. Number two are those promotional, your materials. It's not only about singing. Also, it's about the way you dress. It's the way you present. What is your brand? What is it that you want to put out there for the world to see? It's so many small. It is a business. You are your own business, and I think most singers already know this. But it's not only knowing that, but knowing all the steps that it entails and how to invest in every part of that business and creating even your business plan. And it's just all those ideas. It's a very incredibly difficult industry, but my goodness, when you have the voice and when you love the art form, and you really have to love this. That's the other thing I do have to say, and I always mention it to younger generations. If you're going to go into this as a career, you must love the art form. You must love the voice, because otherwise the career is just too challenging, quite frankly, to do it. But it's also extremely, extremely rewarding. So,
absolutely. Now you have a coming event pretty soon. Tell us about it and what your audience should be looking forward to expect when this is hosted.
The event will be something, as I had mentioned at the beginning, I'm very, very excited about. Mm-hmm. This will be on September 28th in First Church, Boston. More information can always be found on our website, AmeliaClassicalMusicSeries.org. This will be an event presented by myself, a truly world-renowned cellist, who I have no idea how we have had this incredible luck that he has agreed to come and play for a brand new company. It just so happened, the way I should probably mention, a couple of years ago, we performed on the same concert together, and I heard him and I was like, okay, wow. Mm-hmm. And then I heard him again at another concert, and truly every time I hear him, he's just someone breathtaking. And a wonderful pianist, Alex Nahimovsky. So Sergei Antonov will be our cellist. We have created a program where it's going to be certain pieces, as I had mentioned, for example, Pace Pace from Forza del Destino by Verdi. I will do things by Puccini. Then there will be solo pieces from our cellist. And then, as a special treat, is we are getting together and doing with pieces that are well known, written for voice and piano, be arranged. So brand new arrangement be done for voice, piano, and cello. All of the pieces on the program will be music that is so we call it masterworks, because they're truly, every single one of them is well known and famous and loved. So I believe this will be truly an interesting concert, a unique concert, but also just truly beautiful music by world-class musicians.
Tell me something. Is there a close knitted community amongst the operas, the sopranos, the cellists, the percussionists, and those who participate within that form of the arts, that you can just reach out to each other at any given time? I ask this because I recognize that for some of the folks that I interview, sometimes it seems that they don't have this headache in trying to reach a particular person because they may be great at what they do. You know, you got a celebrity. I can't reach out to Taylor Swift or Brianna or any of those folks. I can't reach them, right?
Right.
But it seems to me that in the opera community, it's like you can just pull at any time who you want to speak to or make connections. That form of family, I don't know, explain to me. That family unity is there.
So part of the reason why I have started this concert series, why we founded this concert series, is because I lived, as I had mentioned, I lived in New York City for many years. And while there, I was involved always with both opera and concerts. And you meet people, you get to know people. And I realized that through the years, I have had incredible opportunities performing and getting to know some of the best in the industry. And so I have this incredible knowledge. And I thought, well, if I have this, and one of the reasons is that I want to promote classical music, obviously. And I have this incredible knowledge and know these incredible people, so I could invite them and share them with new audiences, hopefully. Certainly there is a community. Of course there's a community. And when you're in the community, you run into one another. So certainly if I was to call up someone and say, look, we've performed together, or I've performed with so-and-so, do you mind connecting me with yes, it's easier. There's a community. We support each other because it's a tough industry, and I believe all of us are trying hard to maintain classical music's relevance in today's world. And certainly I'm hoping to do that through my concert series.
Okay. Briefly tell me, it's a good art form, but when it comes to student loans, do you think it is fair? Is it fair then to the students that after they graduate with their degree and so forth, for looking to get into this art form for a living, there's no surety about repaying the student loan? How does that really work? Is there any kind of assurance that they're going to make it to deal with it, or is a risk? Is a high risk to go instead?
It's a true risk. I mean, a lot of my colleagues, and I support this 100%. You go to get your master's degree if you know that there's a teacher there. Will help you develop your technique, because the very best thing you can have when leaving school is a great solid technique on which then you build. So if you have that, but it's a huge risk. You take the risk, and I mean,
Okay.
yes.
Well, we're down to the last 2.5 minutes. Is there, you want to wrap up and say anything that you need the public to know pertaining to your upcoming event and the best way in getting connection with you, etc., beside the website?
Yes, well, the website, AmeliaClassicalMusicSeries.org is the website where we have all of the information for our upcoming concert on September 28th at First Church, Boston. My personal website is JannaAlkazova.com, which is also where all of the information will be available. We certainly hope to get a wonderful crowd because this is a concert that is a not to miss concert. These kinds of recitals where there is something completely new presented is not done so often, and the musicians on it will be.
Well, Zan, and that's Zan Alcohol.
Janna.
Zan, sorry. Zana. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Zana
Alkazova. Janna Alkazova.
You call it. Well, thank you for joining me today, and to all those who are tuning in or living in the 21st century, please go out. You heard the information, how to reach out to her, and patronize this upcoming event. Until then, take good care, and to all those